All right, babies. We're just going to go ahead and go live now. Might as well. Let me adjust this microphone. So, the podcast, I might just put it on YouTube, or maybe I'll put it on SoundCloud too. I honestly prefer listening to podcasts on YouTube. Now that Joe Rogan's got on Spotify, I don't really watch them as much. But, whatever. I'll start Audacity and I'll actually just record it on there too. So we are now live. Like I said, the way this podcast is going to work is instead of going to the live chat and answering questions, I can, especially if no one actually uses the format. I'd like it to be a more interactive radio show where people actually call in. So, you can be on the show, you can hear your voice, whatever. Sort of like Loveline. I always listen to Loveline when I was a kid. Funny story is I actually was so terrified of hearing my parents having sex that I listened to this rock station here called The Edge at night. And from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., there was a show called Loveline with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla, a comedian. He was one of the hosts of The Man Show with Jimmy Kimmel before he went to his late night show. And that's why I started listening to it, but it's actually an amazing show. So people would call in, and I looked into like call queuing apps, and I'm not going to have someone like answer the phone call, write down what their question is, and like feed that to me. Too complicated. So I figured the easiest way to do stuff is usually the most simple. So the most simple format, I feel like, is I have a Google number, and then in order to figure out what you guys want to talk about is I just basically say, hey, text the topic you want to talk about to the number, and then I give you a call. So some people have already texted weird shit. So in order for me to call you, you text 804-480-4279. And then if the topic is interesting, or if, you're the only one, then I call you and then we chat. So far, it seems like most of the things are trolling. So, if you guys don't want to call in, then I suppose you can just, ask me something in the comments. And if this doesn't gain traction in like 5 or 10 minutes, I'm just going to go off and I'm going to delete it and pretend like none of this happened. So, Alexis Espinosa, Gary, what's up? Gaetano, you put either a heart emoji or a penis emoji. Mr. Willcat, bitch, I love you too. So what do you guys want to talk about? You guys can ask me powerlifting questions. What up, Cody? You can ask me life questions. You can ask me if you just want to fucking hang out. That works too. The weekly YouTube videos. So I was having a lot of problems editing videos on my old computer, especially with the 4K footage. So what I ended up having to do was I had to get all the clips and I had to render it and then drag it back in, because the computer is so slow and archaic that I was unable to edit anything. And so it would start being choppy after a couple seconds, and then I could kind of deal with that, and then the audio would completely cut out and it was just completely unusable. So yeah, we're live. Got some more people in here. Like I said, the number to text with a topic, and I'll call you, is 804-480-4279 or 804-480-GARY. So I picked that Google number because it was easier to remember. Upload this after. Yeah, I'll probably upload this just because I feel like the format of YouTube is the easiest way for me to stream podcasts. I have YouTube Premium, so I just put it on and let's go about my day. And when I do with podcasts is I just like have them play in the background. I have them playing in my car. I usually even have them playing when I work out. I don't really listen to that much music when I work out for some reason. I guess just because like I'm just not in a good mood, I think. But it's kind of soothing listening to like people you like talk about whatever. Like I listen to Rogan. I listen to a lot of MMA podcasts, and I listen to my new favorite YouTube channel, More Plates, More Dates. And he uploads a lot of content in the really long format. So yeah, we got some more people in here. It looks like people just want to use the chat instead of use the number, which is fine. Opinions on tattoos in the healthcare profession still stigmatized. So obviously I don't agree with it, although I kind of understand. A majority of the population in healthcare is older, and they tend to be more conservative. So they are kind of judgy about if their physician has tattoos. And so that's why mine in general, if I'm wearing like, you know, a button up, they're not visible. And that's why the sleeve ends here. I know I have a tattoo on my fucking head now, and now I have one on my hand, but I'm sort of over all their bullshit. And, you know, when I do interview for med schools now, it's not going to be in person. So I'm going to be able to cover all that. I'll take out my nose ring, everything. I'll look actually like a nice little boy when I actually do apply again. So by the time they actually see me and see that I have tattoos, then it's going to be too fucking late. I really think that played against me, especially with the doctor that kicked me out, because I actually heard that he was really, really against tattoos. I think he was from Peru, and apparently people from there that have tattoos are part of gangs, and I guess he had some bad experiences with gangs. So apparently he really didn't like tattoos, and then my dumbass wore a polo on a Friday and have a couple. So I don't agree with it. It's starting to change from what I've seen. I know there's a lot of doctors that have tattoos, some visible, and a lot of nurses. Every fucking nurse has a shitload of tattoos. They usually wear like Under Armour and shit under their scrubs. Thoughts on cannabis for sleep recovery? So I don't like weed. I don't like weed at all. I like plenty of other drugs. I don't like weed. It just gives me a lobotomy. It makes me feel anxious and stupid. And some of the things make me feel stupid as far as drugs are concerned, but nothing makes me paranoid about being stupid like weed. So I don't like it. However, and I've smoked all kinds of different shit. Last time I smoked a lot of weed, John Jones gave me half of a joint, or no, what are the ones where you wrap them in like Swisher Sweets wraps? I think they're called blunts. A blunt, half a blunt of this medical grade shit, because he has his card, and I smoked it with him and his striking coach Brandon Gibson in his neighborhood, and I was so high that I drove 20 miles an hour in a 75 and ordered 40 chicken nuggets. And my girlfriend at the time, she was at home. You know, I wasn't planning to come over or anything, and I was just like, I need to come over. And I brought 40 chicken nuggets to her house, and she smoked some, and she has more weed experience than me, and she took like one hit, and she was high, and she put on Moulin Rouge, which I don't think was a good idea, and I was just there freaking out. So I do, however, like edibles. I've tried edibles because my drug dealer used to throw in some like Sour Patch edibles with every order, and I actually found them really helpful for sleep. However, the edibles that I got from Colorado recently that were for sleep made me anxious out of my fucking mind. So I didn't end up, I don't even use them anymore, but I do like edibles for sleeping. I used to be prescribed trazodone, and trazodone really helps. I need to renew my prescription, and it sucks. I got to make an appointment every month to get my shit renewed, but you know, it is what it is. I like Benadryl too for sleeping. All right. Okay. Oh, wow. We have a lot of questions. Everyone seems to just want to use the chat. All right. I guess no one's going to call. So PC upgrades coming soon. I'm going to upgrade the camera on this, so I actually use my DSLR. I just need to figure out how to do it. Because this front facing on this new laptop is not very good. It's 720p. It looks fucking 480p right now. What kind of gear am I on? Oh, basically, I'm natty right now. I know in the first episode of Cocoon Mode, I said I was going to be on Tranibol and Anavar. And right now, I'm just on test. Because Anavar gave me mad anxiety, like really bad crippling anxiety. I'm already not usually an anxious person, but I have been lately. And that shit does not help. Usually Anavar is known as being a really mild compound. But if you have anything kind of going on in your head, any like, you know, mental issues going on as far as your personal life or fucking, other shit you actually have a reason to be anxious about, gear is not going to help. So just on 250 milligrams a week of test. And I'm cutting right now. And I know I'm trying to, well, maybe some of you guys have noticed I'm trying to break an all-time world record deadlift. And doing that on such a low dose of stuff is kind of, may seem dumb, but I'm actually trying to recomposition my body in order to be within a water cut range of 165. So I weigh 195 right now. I'd like to be in the low 180s. But again, I'm going to see kind of where my deadlift is at. So got to build a mean PC. Maybe. I don't know. I don't like fucking Windows. And I heard you can build a Hackintosh, but I don't really need a PC. Like, I don't game. I edit. And with these new Apple M1 chips, apparently Final Cut Pro works really, really well. And I like being mobile. I don't know. I like the ergonomics of Apple stuff. But let's see. PA school with 6-figure debt or aim for nursing. Been accepted, but the relocation cost of school is insane for PA. I don't really know the main differences between either. That might be a question for someone else that's actually in one of those schools. My little sister just started PA school. I think if you already have like a bachelor's in nursing, NP is the way to go. And one of the advantages of an MP is you don't actually need to work under a physician. Where the PA, by the name physician's assistant, you actually, I think, cannot open your own clinic. You actually have to work under a physician. So if you want to open your own clinic doing whatever as an NP, I think you're more flexible. However, there's some things that make it easier to apply to PA school, maybe such as you don't have a bachelor's in nursing. I imagine that's probably a disadvantage because most MPs probably have bachelor's in nursing. It might even be required. I don't know. But as far as their income and stuff and what they're able to do, they seem to be pretty comparable. But I'm not super well versed on the differences between PA and MP school. So when am I going to get a Tesla? I've considered it. Here's the thing. I've driven them and they're very impressive. But the thing is, like, I'm a gearhead. I like loud cars. I like shifting the gears. I like all the, the extra things that go into a combustion engine. And I know electric cars are the future, and I know they can outperform, petrol cars, but I don't want a Tesla right now for the same reason that the invention of the rabbit vibrator didn't render the human race extinct. No replacement for a real dick. It's really not. So as long as real dicks are around, I'm going to take the real dick. However, I do want that motherfucking roadster. Were you on gear when you hit the 700-pound deadlift? Yes. Actually, not that much, though. So I started test after I hit 600, and I was just running, 250 milligrams per week test. And I believe when I hit 700, it was the only time I've run Tren Ace, and I ran it at such an insanely low dose. I think it was 180 milligrams a week. And every time after that, I tried to run Tren Ace, I got super, super sick, like really bad lung infections, like 3 times. And so I had to stop. So I pretty much only ran Tren Ace once. And that's when I hit 700 for the first time. I really don't run a lot of shit, honestly. And I maybe would if I had better results, but orals just fuck me up emotionally. And to me, it's just not worth it. If it doesn't make you feel better, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. All right. Let's see. Message retracted. Okay. It's getting to where more people have tattoos than don't. So I feel like that stigma is going away. Yeah, I feel like that too. It's getting to the point where it's become such a common thing that people aren't even, it's more rare, I feel like, to not have a tattoo than have a tattoo. I think if you have them, just don't have, like, I want a fucking neck piece. I actually do, but I'm not going to do that till I have an MD, because there is a stigma against it, will limit you as far as options in life. Like if you go into a business meeting and, this has nothing to do with what you feel, is there's a bunch of people there. They're like, old dudes that are conservative they're going to discount you. They're going to judge you. They're going to make assumptions about you. But if you're in a field where shit like that doesn't matter and no one else's opinion matters, which is rare, really, if you think about it, then yeah, fucking send it. But even if like you're an entrepreneur, you own your own business, you're going to have to go in, ask for fucking business loans. You're going to have to give presentations. You're going to have to ask other people for help. And if you don't fit what they're looking for, unless you're like the baddest motherfucker ever and like your qualifications and business plan and everything is just like undeniable, then it's going to be a disadvantage in some fields, especially fields that are run by old white dudes, which a lot of them are. So blunt. Why are people saying that? Gary, just finished first exam of my third block M1. That's medical student 1. What are your best cramming techniques for a med school exam? Well, the best way in medicine, and I'm a crammer. Oh, I'm a fucking crammer. But cramming is not good for medical school, especially with like memory consolidation. Like learning it as soon as possible and practicing it as soon as possible and as much as possible is really the best way to learn in medicine, because there's so much stuff that if you try to cram stuff that you should have learned before, you're already behind because the information doesn't stop. And so if you cram stuff because you didn't learn it from here, you got to cram all this stuff. And then if you have to cram so much in a short period of time, you're probably going to neglect sleep, and that's where memory consolidation happens. And, you're already kind of fucked. And even if you do well on the test, that type of studying doesn't stick. And what used to be the most important thing in medicine is step 1. And it's pass fail now instead of scored, but you still got to pass it. And passing step 1 is really difficult. Like people think they're going to get like a 250 or 260, and then they take their first like practice test and they get like 120, and then it becomes real. And you really realize how impressive it is to just pass that test. So my best method for studying in medicine is go over the slides, however way you want, in class, online lecture. And then once you're done with that, write down everything you remember. Just sit down and write down everything you remember. Don't look at your notes or anything like that. And then do practice questions, like using Kaplan, or don't use UWorld yet until dedicated study time, but just practice questions, and have a study partner. I don't like studying with anyone, but I fucking did it anyway, and just drill it. It just quiz each other. Just, it has to be your life. It has to be constant. Good luck, and congrats to getting into med school. Oh shoot, there's a lot of questions. John Jones laced the blunt with cocaine. Oh, people are saying it's a blunt. Yeah. No comment. Should have clarified. Do you think tattoos affect the hiring process for nurses and practitioners specifically? If you're able to hide them during all the interviews, then no. But if you show them, it's not going to be an advantage. It cannot help you. It can only hurt you. Let me put it at that. Leave it at that. Thanks for answering. Favorite drug then? Favorite drug. Molly's really good, but you can't take it too often. Otherwise, it just starts to lose its effect. So mine is oxycodone. Oxycodone with a nice plate of spaghetti. I know there's a huge stigma against it. I'm not prescribed it, not addicted to it. I haven't had it in months, but it's just so nice with some spaghetti and a movie and a furry blanket. It's amazing. But as far as what drug I enjoy the best, it's definitely Molly, but just you have to not take it very often. Not ecstasy. That shit's cut with like PCP. I didn't get high with Paul Walker. That was someone else. Let's see. I'm not in med school right now. I'm on sabbatical, aka I get dismissed from UNM School of Medicine, and I'm having to apply to either DO schools or the Caribbean. John Jones Stack, I don't know. I don't think he took gear. I'm pretty sure he didn't take gear when I was training him. Pre-USADA, when it was allowed, probably. Why wouldn't he? When should you invest in squat shoes, knee sleeves, and powerlifting belt? That is a good question. I wouldn't say there's any specific numbers, but if you're already thinking about it, why not do it? As far as the order of things, Squat shoes you don't necessarily need unless you have crazy inflexibilities or really long femurs. I'm not that flexible, and I have long femurs, and I can still get to depth high bar squatting. Front squatting, that's when you'd have to put like plates underneath your feet. But knee sleeves, they're not necessary. Now I'm so dependent on them. If I'm not squatting in knee sleeves, it kind of feels weird. But yeah, I mean, squat shoes are expensive. They're like $200 for the nicer ones, or Malios or whatnot. Knee sleeves are like $80, and belts are really expensive too. They're all over $100. So just get one at a time, maybe like once a month. As far as the order, I don't really know. Knee sleeves, belt, then squat shoes. How about that? Simon and I make up. You mentioned Simon in your last vlog. That vlog was from when it was from the old channel when I lived with him and everything was good. So, I think that's what you're talking about. So no, we're not cool. And he made me sign something I'm not allowed to even talk about him. So I can't even answer any questions about him if I wanted to. How much Tren is too much Tren? It's like a narrow therapeutic window with Tren. Tren Ace is a horse of different color, but if we're using those sort of doses, low is considered like 200 milligrams per week. High is like anything over 400. And with gear, I always am like less is more, especially with like orals. Like you end up getting diminishing returns. You end up getting, if you double the dose, you get twice the size but not twice the gain. So slow and steady wins the race. Save your body. Just if you're going to blast something besides test, just keep it at a low dose. Just be patient. You're already on fucking gear. You're already on test. You're already blasting something else. So just be fucking patient. Why? We're just like fucking gym rats that just do it for fun. There's no point in fucking up your body and your relationships and your life over it, because it does change you. Anything you're on, it affects you differently. For the most part, it will affect you in a negative way, like psychologically and, internal organly. But Cocoon vids didn't last long. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Med school's dumb. Thank you, Phil. Very useful in this conversation. No, Simon and I are not cool. Thoughts on Mustangs? Don't really like them. There's a stigma against them. However, I like them more than most Dodge equivalents, except for maybe the Hellcat. And I'm really impressed. I've test drove two GT350s, which isn't technically a Mustang. And the 5.0s sound really, really good. They're just so common. I don't think I would ever get one. I would consider a GT350, and I really am impressed with the GT500. It's not just a straight line car, and they sound amazing. So I like them more than any Camaro. And other than a Hellcat, actually, I would rather have a GT500 than a Hellcat because they can actually handle. Yeah, I've been accepted to a PA school, but not sure if I want to relocate. I can try and reapply, but we're just not getting in. I would go for nursing as a backup. Hey, man, if you're accepted, do it. Do it. I mean, relocating sucks. I don't know if you're worried about like a relationship or something like that, but send it, man, and congrats. It's not easy. All right, cool. So we're getting some calls. So this is going to take precedence. So okay. So you texted something really, really long. So I'm just going to call you. First call, you guys.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? This is Garrett.
What's up, man? This is Eric.
What's your name?
Eric.
Eric, what's up, man? I saw that you sent like the topic, but instead of me reading it, I was just gonna have you ask me live so everyone can hear it.
Yeah, when you said there's a bunch of trolls on there, I was like trying to get like important stuff in there where you saw I wasn't trying to be a complete troll.
Yeah. No, I mean, some people just before it even started texted a bunch of dumb shit, but yeah. It was basically
usually how
it's a weird format.
Oh, that's usually how people do on, it seems, the internet anymore.
Right. Where are you from?
Man, my whole thing, I'm from Tennessee.
All right.
And see, when you brought up Loveline, man, I was in Orlando and would listen to WJRR. And Loveline, like you said, every night from 11 to 1, that was the best radio show they'd ever had.
Oh, yeah. It was amazing. It was so funny, so educational. It was everything.
And that was the first time I'd ever really even heard of Adam Carolla before or Dr. Drew. Now they're all over the place.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and I didn't realize like how fucking funny Adam Carolla was.
He was the funniest. I mean, he would come up with stuff, and you could always tell Dr. Drew was one of those where he was like, okay, I want to start laughing my ass off, but I'm a doctor, and I have to take this question serious.
He was really good at maintaining his professionalism. He was really good at that.
Was.
Yeah, he's the best,
the
man.
best ever.
Yeah, man.
But, man, my whole thing, what's been the latest with, like, you and... I don't even want to say his name because he's such a piece of crap.
The latest, man, I don't know what he's doing at all. Don't really care. I don't wish anything bad on him. You know, I hated him for a long time, but holding that type of resentment towards someone really, you know, is a lot of energy. But him and his lawyer made me sign something saying that I'm not legally allowed to talk about him. So even if I wanted to, I wouldn't even be able to say anything about him. So don't know what he's doing. I don't even know if he works. I have no idea. I think he's still in New Mexico. That's all I know.
I don't want to try to be like asking you all these questions and taking up time from everybody else. But,
all good.
Have you been Max and Christian?
We're cool. They're doing their own thing and they're really grinding and super, super busy. You know, Christian with Alpha Land and Max with Sour Strips. I haven't talked to them in quite a long time. I just feel like, you know, kind of being, if I would just like, hey man, how's it going? It's just like, I'd be a burden just because I feel like their time is so valuable with everything they're doing. And I would love to collab with them again, except for I'm not worthy to collab with them because I haven't put anything into social media. Like I'm starting YouTube again, and, you know, starting this podcast and like active on Instagram again, even though my followers are consistently declining. I'm so far from being on their level. Them allowing me to collab with them would be such like it's almost like me being kind of a beggar, and I don't like asking for help that I don't deserve. So maybe in the future, when I've actually shown that, you know, I've put a lot of work into my social media and YouTube especially, and I gain followers on my own, maybe then I'll be like, hey man, let's do a collab. But I feel like I'd just be kind of like asking for help I don't deserve and kind of like a burden on those guys because those guys are just grinding so hard and they deserve everything.
I mean, complete honesty, I don't even see it like that. Because, man, you could tell when you all, I mean, I don't even like saying collab because, I mean, it was a collaboration, but when y'all were together, you could tell, man, y'all were just good friends. I don't see you being a burden on them. With everything you've had going on, there's a reason you weren't like out on YouTube and doing all the social media stuff.
Right.
You had a legitimate reason not to be out there. And I honestly think that if you just reached out to them, you would probably fall back in where y'all were before because it was more than just collaboration. Now, the other person that was part of my aesthetics, I could see that being a collaboration just because of how his mentality was and how he was as a person. But as far as you and them go, I don't see it at all, man. I mean, I'd say if you reached out to them, it'd be just back to where it was before.
Yeah, I mean
I don't see.
Yeah, they are my friends, and if I wanted to hang out with them, like it would just be purely like hang out. You know, I wouldn't expect me to feature on their channel or anything like that. Like it would be cool to just like lift with them and like kick it, and then maybe someday like we could do like a video or something. But our friendship was always like kind of like based around us doing like the same thing, like the YouTube thing, the fitness thing, the social media thing. So because they consistently have done it and I kind of fell off, I feel like, there became like kind of distance between them. And because they were still friends with the other guy, I didn't know like, hey, how they felt. I'm sure that they thought it was probably distasteful how ugly the whole thing went. And so, it is what it is. But I love those guys and I would like to hang out with them again.
Well, and that's the thing. It wasn't distasteful on your part. It was all on the other person's part. Everybody who watched it could see that. And you've got more backers than you even know. And I could just see that from and you would not believe how happy we all were to see you come back up onto social media, because you were the one that made my aesthetics.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
The only other thing I've got, my wife's a pharmacist.
Oh, cool.
And where I'm a pilot, we had,
Badass.
as far as like in the cockpit and stuff with this whole COVID thing going, what do you think about the vaccine coming out as far as where you're at through your medical school and all that?
Well, you know, I try to not follow COVID news as much as I can because I'm so sick of it, and I'm sick of how politicized it is. But from what I do know about the vaccines, they haven't gone through the normal phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 clinical trials in the same way that a normal vaccine does. And so they sort of rushed everything through, and we might find some long-term adverse side effects of these vaccines that we didn't anticipate, just because the way in which it was done. I haven't heard anything about, I mean, I've heard of like the Bell's palsy. I've heard of, you know, a lot of potential effects that all seem to be hearsay, but that's also the thing, is it's so politicized that when you have statistics or data about COVID now, you don't even know if that data has been skewed to the point where you can believe it, you know, similar to like the COVID deaths and things like that. I'm glad there's a vaccine. I'm glad there's now 3. I hope, you know, it is safe. It seems to be safe so far. I mean, some of the side effects that I've been hearing aren't super common, but yeah, I haven't done enough research to really give a strong opinion on whether or not I think these vaccines and the way they were done is the right thing.
Well, and see, me and my wife had the same discussion, and her being a frontline worker, she was almost, I mean, she had to get it.
Right.
And when she got the first one, she got the, what was it, the Moderna?
Okay.
She got that one, and when she got her first immunization, she felt fine. The second one, you could tell the next day she was kind of not sick, but just had a little bit of just kind of down, tired, lethargic, stuff like that. Now, my parents went and got it. My dad felt completely fine after his second. My mom, I mean, you thought she had COVID.
Wow.
But it lasted a day, and that was it.
Okay.
And then ever since then, she's been fine.
Well, that's good.
So it's one of those things, and we had talked about that, and I was just interested to see what you had to say from the time you've been through school and what you know and all that about it.
Yeah, if I had been if I had been in med school during this time, then I probably would be more following the matter more closely and a little bit more educated on the nuances of the vaccines. But, you know, COVID itself is such a strange illness that we don't fully understand. I think that is why the way in which people are getting vaccinated, that's having strange effects that we don't understand.
Yeah, and that's what's weird about it. You'd think if it was man-made, it wouldn't really be able to, like, there wouldn't be a different form of it, but now we're starting to hear about different forms of it, so it almost makes you think it may not be man-made.
Yeah, I keep going back and forth on whether or not I feel like it was or not. I mean, the way in which they could have engineered it, it could have been engineered in order to morph more than a normal one. So, you know, I go back and forth on whether or not I think it was, but I think it's possible.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, everything with what happened with 2020, I mean, it's just been a shit year. Hopefully it's gonna be a little bit better.
Hopefully, man. It looks like it is, man. Hopefully. It's 2021 started out kind of weird, but I think 2021 is going to be better than 2020, man.
Yeah, hopefully it is. And like I said, dude, anytime you put something up and you start doing more of these, I hope, you know, once a week, I'll always be texting in something, man, to talk to you about.
Awesome, man. I appreciate the support, man. I appreciate it so much, man. Thank you for calling in, man.
All right, bro. Take it easy.
All right, you too, man. All right, cool. That was the first person to call in. We got one more text message caller. State of the Union for Fitness YouTube. All right, interesting. I'll call this gentleman. There's been 2 text messages. This is how I call you. You text this number. Gary.
Hello.
What's up, man? This is Gary.
Oh shit! What's up, dog? How's it going?
Good, man. How are you? What's your name?
Andrew. I'm in Arizona.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome to the show, neighbor. Phoenix or?
Like Gilbert, yeah, just a little suburb.
Oh, Gilbert. I know where Gilbert is because I worked at Palo Verde, so I remember seeing on the map. It's kind of like southish of Phoenix.
Yeah. It's kind of like whatever. Yeah, it's around there.
It's hot as fuck there, probably already, huh?
Yeah, it's starting to. It's like high 90s most days now.
Damn.
So we're getting the last of like the decent shit before it gets real bad.
Do you feel like it's reaching the 90s faster this year?
Kind of. Like it hit like high 80s, low 90s, and then for like a week and a half or 2 weeks, it like chilled out for a second.
Oh, okay.
So, like that was nice for it to be like the hotter months to be chill for a couple weeks. But
right.
It's in full force now. It's just gonna get more fucked up.
Oh yeah, man. I like if it's in the high 90s now, like imagine like beginning of August.
Oh yeah, it's completely fucked.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I lived there during the summer, and holy shit. However, the summer before I lived in Las Vegas, and I felt like it was worse. Like the wind felt like a blow dryer. Like the wind makes you hotter. There's no relief at all.
Dude, I drove through Vegas like 2 weeks ago, maybe, and yeah, the wind, and then just like Arizona's desert, just like Las Vegas, New Mexico. But I don't know. I feel like Arizona and New Mexico have something to look at, you know?
Right.
And, I mean, driving through Vegas, it's just nothing.
Oh,
and it
yeah.
makes it feel like if it's 100 degrees there, like it feels like it's 150.
Yeah, because there's no distractions. It's just you can see just flat dirt everywhere, and that doesn't distract you from the heat.
Fucking dirt, wind, and rocks.
Yeah, dude. Word. So
like power lines.
You had questions about the state of YouTube fitness.
Yeah, just like I don't know. I mean, I don't know how involved we're trying to get with like names. I'm not trying to like make you talk shit about anybody or anything.
I'll talk shit about anybody, dog. I don't give a fuck. I'm not even a YouTuber anymore.
That's the thing. Like, it doesn't matter what like niche you're in, whether it be fitness, whether it be, you know, lifestyle, whether it be board games. You know, the second I feel like this is kind of my opinion, but I feel like these people, they reach like a moderate level of success, and then, I mean, just as the story as old as time, what they got into it for, whether it be fitness, cars, whatever, that kind of like slowly takes a back seat. And then one day, whatever, you'll just watch Max's or Christian Guzman's channel now, and it's just like everything becomes about like building the business, what money they have, like what they're buying. Like the newest video is like, look at what I'm doing to my house. Look at what, like I got another new car, you know, like,
yeah, I know.
Every single, and it's not just sequestered to like fitness, you know, it's everything. It's, cause like I also ride like BMX bikes. So
okay.
I've seen it happen there too, where dudes just, their videos are just them riding all day and having fun. Then out of nowhere, it's like, oh yeah, I have 500,000 subscribers now. So like, whatever, I got this car, I'm buying this house. Like now we're remodeling it. And that's what their videos are from until their channel dies, I guess.
That's an interesting observation. It's almost like you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. It's like you either stop YouTube doing what you love or live long enough just to be a fucking, you know, stereotypical influencer, just so successful that you have nothing to do but talk about your life, which is just consumed by making more money and showing what your money has got.
It's like, hey, let's throw up a video of me, whatever, hitting flat bench for 3 sets of 135 for Ken, just to
to maintain that they are a fitness
people
channel.
Who are still there, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, shit, like with you guys, with Max, with Christian, I mean, like way back in the day, Mathetics, I mean, I think I subscribed at like, I don't know, it had to be less than 10,000 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
Same shit with Max and Christian. Like, that was back when I was in college, like 5 years ago now, you know? And I mean, I've been watching some of them since high school too. So, like, some of these people, like Christian, like, I knew him, not knew him, but I watched his videos when he was, like, in that apartment with, like, that weird old girlfriend, not Nikki, but the girlfriend before that,
Damn.
Like, when he just first got Nala and in the 370Z or whatever.
Oh, yeah, his first dream
like,
car.
dude, that shit was gold though. Like when he was opening up that gym, and like that's like what that fitness YouTube was about, because sure, it's still kind of about money, but it's still in the same vein of what you're doing. You know, he's upgrading gyms and stuff like that, which is cool. But and then somehow you just lose your way.
Yeah,
it seems like with most of them, and they just, I don't know. I get it gets busy, and I get, you know, take care of yourself while you can, like make hay while the sun shines. But it's just, I don't know. It's tough to watch. Like I can only watch Max like once a month now. I don't even get to choose when I get to watch Christian, but I honestly don't even watch it most of the time, because it's just a 45-minute vlog of a fucking walkthrough of this warehouse that is just fucking wires and venting, you know. And he's like, over here is going to be the this and that and the other thing. And like, dude, like, this is so far gone, I can't even like visualize it, you know.
Yeah, it's like it's become so disconnecting because they've become so disconnected because they're just enveloped in what they've created. So it's sort of like a double-edged sword.
Yeah, and I don't think any of them are like any worse for it. Like I don't think Christian's like any more of a douche. I don't think Max is any more of a douche. I don't know that
Max has always been a douche.
But just like, I don't know, just seeing what you see, like they're either hiding it well in their videos when they do them, or they're, I don't know, still pretty much themselves. But yeah, dude, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I love Max and I love Christian. I haven't watched one of their videos in probably a year, 2 years. Not that I dabble, but it's not that I don't care about what they're doing. It's like I more or less know what they're doing. And I know more or less exactly what to expect when I watch one of their videos. Their fucking edits are crazy. They're amazing. Nabil is so great. Max probably has Kelvin do a lot of stuff. Probably someone else. Like their camera quality, their shit, their transitions are so cool. Their music, their underwater effects with the bar fucking going down to their chest from a close angle. Like it's all done so well and so beautiful. But, you know, at the same time, I'm not even saying their content is bad, but I think what brought people to them was, you know, just the sheer pureness of just being someone that was into fitness and wanted to kind of show their lifts in their life. And they're so good at that, and people were so drawn to them that they gained this massive following, which, you know, they were able to monetize to the point where now they're able to use that to build other things and other brands like bigger gyms and more clothing for Alpha Lead and, you know, Ever Forward and Sour Strips and stuff like that. So, you know, their followers seem to really like their videos still. I don't know. They don't seem to get a whole lot of, you know, dislikes and things like that. So they're loyal and they love their stuff. Maybe some of the people that saw them at the beginning really miss, you know, the purity of what they were doing before, and it's kind of just been kind of overshadowed by, you know, the curse of success. But you know, they're doing so well, man, and you know, it's always very inspiring. It's always so inspiring, like seeing what they're doing, because, you know, I've known them for so long, and I knew Christian. I got to know Christian after, you know, he had already become immensely successful, but I knew Max, you know, from the beginning, you know, before any shirts released, but when he was still doing deadlift bra stuff and things like that. And he was always so driven. Like he was someone that I always knew was going to be successful, and he always knew he's going to be successful. And he treated everything as a business move. Everything was like a political move for him. That's why he donned this, you know, Mickey Mouse, you know, personality on YouTube to appeal to the most amount of people, to appeal to the masses. And it's done so well because in the back of his mind has always been like, you know, I'm going to make a dickload of money. And he has, and I'm super proud of him. But, you know, for me, I had other stuff going on, you know, medical school, and I still have that stuff going on. And I never really had the drive to put as much effort into it as them. And I still don't think I could have been to the level they are, because, you know, everyone that followed, you know, Masthetics and Legion, you know, you guys were very loyal, but it was sort of a niche following because we weren't everyone's cup of tea. Like, I'm not everyone's fucking cup of tea. I'll say shit that pisses people off. Very extreme and absurd, and a lot of people, it's too much for them. But I like the way I am. You know, it makes it so my friends and the people that follow me, you know, they like me for me. It's no bullshit. I think it's kind of a lot of effort to be fake. I'm not saying that they are, but you know, I feel like it would take a lot of effort for me to be to appeal, to the masses in that same way. So, I appreciate and enjoy the following that I've made and I've created. And, I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know how busy I'm going to get with other things that I'm doing, but for now I'm kind of in a limbo. So I might as well just put some content out. I'm starting this, new fitness app that I'm developing. I've decided to say, fuck it and go for a world record deadlift. Cause ultimately when I go down to the gym and I'm lifting and I have this huge banner behind me and all this rogue equipment and all these people, and this gym has become like a melting pot for just people. There's so many relationships that have been made and formed, and people that have met each other because of this melting pot that I've created. And I sit there and I'm putting, my plates on when I deadlift, and I sit there and I, under the banner, I'm like, deadlifts created all of this. Like, yeah, we gained a following from like the med school thing, and like Simon and I were like funny, and it was funny, but it was like the deadlift and like going for the world record. Like those were the videos that got views. Those were that got us exposures. Like, yeah, he's in med school, but he deadlifts 700. So I'm just like, this one lift, just picking up a fucking bar, is what created all of this. So that's kind of humbling, and I never want to lose that.
I mean, it was like the magic in the bottle that like Christian and Max had early on. I mean, but you guys let's just say like there's a reason like me and I'm sure everybody else like still follows you, when I don't care to really follow Christian or Max on anything, just because it's almost like the fucking Wendy's account on Twitter like tweeting, you know what I mean? You're like, yeah. Okay, cool, like, right. I don't know. And I mean, I would have done the same thing in their position, I think, just because it's too good of a life to like let go, just because you're like, oh, all I do is bench press, and you know what I mean, and we got to get clips of that every single week for everybody. Mm-hmm. Like I completely get why they're doing what they're doing. Mm-hmm. But it's like you were talking about like building Legion Iron and all that, and then you go to Christian's thing and he's like, oh, we'll build a fucking hotel, and you're like, come on, dude. Like, it's like, dude, come on. I see the vision of what you're trying to do, but I mean, fuck, if that's not going to be just as expensive as like outfitting a gym, and for what, like, as much of a fan as I was of Christian, I just I couldn't see myself ever like, okay, let me stay at his hotel, I don't know. It's, yeah. And like, Max is just more in the middle. Like, he's still like, his is tough. I actually watched one of his videos today. It's not quite vlog like style, like a David Dobrik or something like that, but it's not what it was, and it's kind of hard to pinpoint what that is. It literally just feels like every single one of his videos is a hamster wheel that starts and ends in the same place, and they do it again the next time he uploads a video. Interesting. But I'll have to watch it and see. That's interesting. These are my opinions, so I mean, people may not agree, but I don't know, especially with those two, with Max and Christian. I feel like I've been along with them long enough to, I don't know, form my own opinions about how it's went and how it's currently going and stuff like that. Yeah, there doesn't really seem to be anyone that's really showing up and breaking the mold and, gaining a lot of traction for anything that I've heard. I know there's a lot of, my favorite YouTube channel for fitness is More Plates, More Dates. That guy's real as fuck. He's smart as fuck, and he just is honest, and he just does reaction videos to stuff. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's entertaining. He's great, and he's not full of shit. But he's not like a fitness vlogger. The trend in fitness seems to be fucking TikTok, which I refuse to fucking get on. And, people like, the Noah Becks and like the fucking people that go to Bradley Martin's fucking gym, and he puts them all on gear. And oh, dude, what the fuck? Yeah, what happened there? I don't know. One of my buddies is out there right now and it's causing all kinds of shit. Shout out to Patty Cakes. And he, some guy named Isaac got mad at him because he did a review on Zoo, and he actually was a very positive review, and he just said, gym's pretty fucking small. I mean, he's used to Legion. It's 10,000 square feet with 30-foot ceilings. And I know it's in LA, so the real estate's really expensive, but he paid $100 for a week pass. Like, oh my God. And Brad got all fired up in the comments saying, oh no, it's $100 for a month after the $150 sign-up fee, which is a fucking ridiculous sign-up fee. I don't have any sign-up fees. And then he's like, it wouldn't be $400 for a month. It would be
it's $100 for a week if you don't sign up for the month. I'm like, that's what he said. That's literally what he said. And so apparently everyone there fucking hates him, but he still is going because he bought the $100 a week pass, which I think is absolutely hilarious. But
oh yeah, and then fucking Bradley jumps into the back of his 6x6 Raptor and gets out of there, you know.
Dude, that guy's a cunt. He said he was going to sue me after I gave his phone number out.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Him and
the whole the podcast thing, right?
Yeah. Someone I know went out there and he completely ghosted her and stood her up, even though the trip had been planned for a long time. So that's when I ordered 66'd him. And then I saw a video where he was giving his number out to people.
Oh yeah, see that.
It was like, text me, where it's like, there's no fucking way. Yeah. Well, one, there's no way this number. I know it's not his number because I have his number. But two, I guarantee you, it's just to sell that information to people. Yeah. Other companies. There's no way that's not what it is. And all these celebrities, it's basically they say it's so they interact with their fans. No. It's fucking bots responding. It's not them, and it's to sell their information. So by doing that,
happy birthday to you once a year.
Holy shit. Yeah, it's a bot. It's a fucking bot. So I'm like, dude, that's like